Hi there, my name is Nicole Wilbur. I'm a writer and story nerd, and I'm going on a writing retreat. I'm so excited. This is so cool. So I have an Airbnb just for 2 nights in Southern Maryland. So I'm going to get out of the city, I'm going to get out of Baltimore and go to it's like on a few acres and it's near sort of like the coast and the beach town. I'm so excited. I'm going to have like a nice little space. I'm just going by myself. I'm bringing my yoga mat and it's going to be a time. I have been planning this for about 2 weeks now. Like it's just a little fast trip. I'm gonna go grab a rental car and drive down, and man, I'm so excited. I have my bag packed in my purse. I just have to put some like snacks and stuff. I don't really have like a cooler or anything, but I figured I would put it in like a Tupperware container because there's not that much stuff in it. It's gonna take me like 2 hours or so to get there, so it's not bad at all. And yeah, and then I'm gonna get on the road and I'm so excited. And the idea is to really try to make some progress and dive deep into this novel. So let's go. Oh my God, the lighting in here is terrible, but I'm in my rental car and I'm so excited. Oh my God, it was like a long line, but the lady was so nice. She upgraded me to one that has like a phone plug in and like, oh, I'm so excited. I have to like adjust my mirrors, get everything ready, and then start driving. Yay, I'm so excited. It's pouring rain outside. It took me a lot longer to get here. I thought I was gonna be here at 4:30. It's now like 6:15. I finally arrived. I've only been here for like 2 seconds. I'm just taking my shoes off and it's so cute. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you. Haven't even been in this part yet. Oh my God, it's so cute. It's like baby perfect. Oh, there's even a wine glass. So yesterday in 1837, I wrote over 1,300 words. Might have been 1,400. I finished a scene that I've been working on pretty much chapter really, that I've been working on all week-ish. It went pretty well. I'm starting to feel like one of my characters and her plot is very good. And then the other one I'm feeling is a little bit not as targeted or as compelling as I want it to be. So I don't know if I should sort of take some time and just rethink through it or just keep trucking along. I think I might just need to reread her chapters a little bit and try to get things together. The next chapter that I'm writing, which I haven't started yet, but I just copied and pasted into the draft, was part of draft 2.1. So I wrote the first act and then I stopped and I reevaluated and I did a little bit of editing and sort of re-outlining and rearranging, and then I started writing Act 2, which I am in the middle of now. It's taken a while, but we're getting there. And this scene was originally in draft 2.1. It was in Act 1, and I just realized it had no place there. It didn't kind of flow and give what I wanted. So now it's in the middle of Act 2. I haven't quite come up with how I'm justifying that they're doing this thing that they're doing. It's a scene that has to happen. It absolutely has to happen. How it's happening, I am not sure. I have a draft of it, and I have to decide whether I should just kind of like leave it and say, you know what, later I will fix it. Or if I should go through and rewrite the scene. I had trouble the first time I wrote it with what the value shift was. And I'm having trouble now thinking of, it's one of those scenes where there's really important information and really important things that are happening. However, I want it not to seem like the really important thing that is happening is happening. I'm trying to hide it. I'm trying to disguise it with red herrings and all that stuff. So the scene gets paid off in a big way at the end of, if you're going with 3-act structure, it's the end of Act 2. If you're going with 4-act structure, it's the end of Act 3. It gets paid off in a huge way. But I don't want people to realize that this scene is going to be a scene that is going to be paid off, and that it's just like, it just can't purely be a setup scene. I want it to be some other type of scene. You know what I mean? It needs to be a scene that has a purpose, that is the interesting, engaging purpose, and underneath it is the thing that I'm trying to set up, if that makes sense. So I think I'm just gonna have to sit and brainstorm for a little bit how I can redo this scene. I might need to approach it a bit differently. The way I wrote it in Act 1 was they were basically just having a conversation, summarizing some stuff that we missed at a party the other day, and it was a conversation between the two sisters, and it was just kind of set with the backdrop of this setup. But I think to make it compelling, and in terms of where it's placed now, I've been mentioning this thing, and now we get to see it, and it's like, how do I do this? I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit down and brainstorm it. Other than that, so it was 1,300 words in that, which I felt quite good about. I really liked how, one thing that I noticed while I was writing is I really liked the direction that I took it. I really like how it developed character. I think that did a great job and advanced the plot. And for my one character, I feel pretty confident about how her plot is going because I know her arc super duper well. Like all of her actions are kind of driving towards the one thing. The other one, I think I'm still trying to figure out a little bit, which is so odd because when I wrote the first draft of this, it was the complete opposite. So I should maybe just try to marry the two drafts a bit, or like two character arcs. Anyways, as I was saying, one thing that I noticed that was really cool was I started writing the scene. I maybe had about 300 words or so, bringing the scene in one particular direction, and then I like stopped and it didn't feel right, and so I stopped and I was like, you know what, it doesn't feel right, and I figured out a way to do the action that I needed to do without like having to do a scene that didn't feel right, and instead doing something that did feel right, and that was sort of conclusive and good. And so I felt really good about that I didn't just like charge ahead with it, and I stopped and I fixed it. So progress, we're making progress, and I guess I have to make the same progress and apply the same rules to this scene that I'm editing at the moment. I need to justify why they're doing the thing that they're doing. Also yesterday, I wrote 1,800 words in a personal essay, and I wasn't expecting to write that, but I kind of had an idea for it, and then I just like wrote all night. Not all night, I went to bed at like 11:30, but I wrote sort of in the evening on it with my glass of wine, and so the total so far for this weekend is 1,800 plus 1,400, 3,000 words, just over 3,000 words. So that's pretty good for a writing retreat, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more, or at least a little bit of brainstorming around this element that I'm not sure about in 1837. So I'm trying to write outside and like on the pier. It's really pretty. I will put sort of a video or picture of it in here. Right now I'm under the gazebo because it keeps going from rain to sun, rain to sun, rain to sun, and I have my laptop and I'm trying to write and I'm really into it and I want to write my words, and it keeps raining, so I'm hoping that I will be somewhat shielded by this gazebo. I was not dressed for this weather. I was very cold, so I bought a sweater, and now I'm like huddled in this gazebo in a sweater that like over top of my pantsuit, and I'm not matching. And we're gonna try to finish this scene at the very least. Today I managed to write 1,500 words, which is pretty good. I am enjoying it. I'm gonna get copyrighted because of this stupid person blasting music, so I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, I'm in a state park, and this is the trail to the beach. I just got some breakfast. I had the best pistachio muffin ever. I don't even know muffins could be made with pistachio. And I'm gonna sort of walk off a bit of breakfast. I don't have a ton of time to hang out because I have to get the car back, but I am super excited to do a bit of exploring. So I am back home again, and it is Monday morning. So yesterday I wrote another 2,000 words. Most of them were actually in that personal essay, and I've also been reading story engineering. I'm gonna do a full review of story engineering, but so far I've found good stuff in it. I don't think I'm even on page 100. I found good advice in it, but you have to pave through a lot of blah 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 blah, just stuff that isn't very valuable to get to the good advice. He talks about the difference between an idea, a concept, and a premise, which is cool, and I really related to that because I was like, oh right, I remember kind of learning this for myself, that I had an idea for one of the novels that I wrote last year. I think I wrote it for NaNoWriMo 2020, my project musical. I remember I had the idea that I wanted to write a musical, or I wanted to write a book set at an art school where someone was, putting on some sort of show, a play or a musical, and that was an idea. And then when I was like, okay, it's actually going to be a girl who's directing a play and or musical in order to get redemption, that became the concept, and then the premise is a better statement of that. So that's interesting, and I'm in the character on chapter right now. And he talks about 3-dimensional characters and what those dimensions are, and that's really, really interesting. So reading that. And then, yeah, I do have some story block with 1837 at the moment. It's the one character, it's Greer. It's not her character. Well, it's partially her character. She has a relationship that I don't feel like I've been developing as much as it needs to be developed yet. And also the mystery situation that's going on. It's trucking along, but the way I have it set up in my outline, reading it back, is actually the order that things are being revealed doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense. I know I'm probably gonna have to go back and fix up the mystery as we go, but I think I just have to think about it a little bit more. The scene that I mentioned earlier, that I have to sort of set something up and make it sort of hidden, I think I have the conflict that can happen in that scene. I think I do. I don't know if that's gonna work. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this vlog. It was super fun. Thanks for coming on vacation with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, do that, and I will see you next time.